Imagine seeing one of the biggest Michael Jackson collections in the world, a total archive of his legacy from the times with the Jackson 5 and the Jacksons all the way through his solo career and even some posthumous items that have been released. Well, you can do just that. Today's guests, Vernay and Ryan O'Neal, have opened a brand new exhibit of Michael Jackson collectibles in Atlantic City, and I'm super excited to welcome them to the show and talk all about this exciting new place to visit this summer. Vernay and Ryan, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Yes, first of all, I'm super excited to see you both. It's been a while, but if you guys have been watching my channel a long time, you guys know that Vernay and Ryan and I, we've been friends. I went to their wedding, which was like a Michael Jackson themed wedding, and that was so much fun. And
we went to yours?
Yes, you guys came to mine, which ended up being Michael Jackson theme a little bit in a way too. But I'm really excited today to talk about this exhibit, MJJ5 Exhibit. First of all, let me show everybody a photo of you guys just so they can see both of you. This is Vernay and Ryan, and they have opened this amazing exhibit, like I said in the beginning of the show, of all of their collectibles and just so much fun stuff for fans and the greater public. So tell us, Vernay, about MJJ5 Exhibit. What is it?
So MJJ5 Exhibit is our chance to show our amazing collection. It is about 75% of our collection because we couldn't fit everything in here. But it does start with the Jackson 5. And like you said, it goes all the way up to some of the things that were released after his passing. It's an amazing chance for families to come in and just really view Michael's history in merchandise and magazines and clothing and jackets. So it's a nice overview of Michael's career, his career with his brothers, the Jacksons, the Jackson 5, all in our little space here.
That's awesome. And Ryan, can you tell us, because I know that you've been big into collecting specifically Jackson 5 merchandise, right? Can people see some of that too?
They could come and see, like my wife said, they could see a total spectrum of everything that Michael has done from his time with the Jackson 5 all the way up to his solo career. I mean, like, it's very captivating to come in and see the very beginning and, all the way up to his superstardom.
I love that. Now, I want to show, first of all, I want to show a clip of people, for people that might not have seen your collection before. A lot of people have seen you guys on your YouTube channel, or they've been lucky enough to attend a pool party like me and actually been there in person to see. But here's a news segment of you guys and your amazing collection.
I mean, everything is really special to us.
It's not a shrine to Michael Jackson.
This is the real Michael that I wanted.
But more like a museum inside Ryan and Vernay's Winslow Township home.
It's truly a labor of love.
From floor to ceiling, every inch of space gone.
And it's still not enough room. We still have stuff under here, stuff in the attic.
They managed to turn their garage into a gallery of sorts, filled with dolls, pins, and you name it.
Over here,
there's no way to argue. Ryan and Vernay are Michael Jackson's biggest fans.
When you walk in this room, it is so overwhelming to people because it just looks like this massive collection. But to me, each and every one of these things are a memory for me.
These are some of the books that I used to get at school.
Ryan collected albums, cereal boxes, and posters long before he met Vernay.
We wanted just to have a total spectrum of his career, from the time he was a child to his adult age.
He's a fan of the Jackson 5.
These two dolls I had made.
And she's more of Michael's solo career.
That level of expertise and magic that he brought, there's no other artist that gave that sense of feeling. You might have liked another artist, but it was something different when Michael Jackson was on stage.
Amazing. So, Vernay, can you tell us how you guys both started collecting?
Okay, so I started collecting around the Thriller time because around that time I was about 7 years old. And that's when I first really got introduced to Michael Jackson. Later on, I went back and found the rest of his catalog, but that's when I really started saving things that people were giving me, buying things and trying to preserve them. I started off with a little tote, and then it went to a trunk. And then from there, it just kept growing. And then I met my husband in 2017 when I went to go see his collection. And now we combined it into this massum duo collection here.
That is awesome. And like, how is it combining a collection? Because, okay, so I have a little bit of insight only because my husband is also a Michael Jackson fan, but we
Right.
definitely don't have a collection as nearly as large as yours. But sometimes we kind of like, you know, fight over albums. That's my Invincible, right? Oh no, mine had the sticker still on it or whatever. So how was it like practically combining all of your items and like finding a place to house them? Like so many items.
You taking that one, honey, or you want me to take it?
Well, you know what? It's like we don't even think like that. We just collect, and it's like, well, we never had those type of moments, do we?
Oh my gosh, I need to take some lessons from you guys then.
Yeah, when I moved in, I just couldn't wait to get like all of our duplicates together and just see how much of this we had. And we have so many like Moonwalk books, it's insane. But I just couldn't wait to see everything together as a whole. So I never like said, your stuff's over here and I'm going to keep mine over here. We just kind of dived in.
Oh, I love that. See, Michael Jackson, look at that. Like bringing people together and keeping them together. I will stop. Now I will officially say, okay, MJJ Anonymous, this is our collective Invincible collection.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
So I want to tell people, let me just bring up the actual exhibit information. So MJJ5 Exhibit is at the Showboat Hotel, correct?
Correct.
And you guys are open from Tuesdays through Sundays each week from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Closed on Mondays, but there's a little special treat. If you guys mention MJ Fangirl when you go to the exhibit, you can get $10 admission. So that's some pretty good savings.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
And I just want to point out, because I know sometimes when fans do things for money, other fans sometimes have an issue with it. So I just want people to know that we try to keep the price as low as possible. We're not trying to buy a mansion or a yacht. We just want to make enough that we can stay here at the Showboat. It's not free. The expenses here are not free. So we have to charge so that we are able to have this available to the public. So we made it as low as possible. And like I said, it's just to maintain our time here.
Oh, yes. And I want to let everybody know, too, like I've seen a part of your collection when I was living back in the East Coast. And it's so worth it, you guys, because there's so much stuff that you don't even know existed. So many things that I never knew existed until I went to see your guys' collection. And I'm kicking myself because right now I live in California. I'm like, I wish I could make it to see this collection in public at the Showboat. Now, I want to reverse a couple years back. You guys, you have had a annual pool party where you had Michael Jackson fans come and see your collection, but this is open to the greater public. So, Ryan, if you could tell us, like, why was it important to you both to bring your collection out and in the open for everybody to see this summer?
Well, you know what? I think the pool party was getting too big. It was becoming too much for me and my wife, preparing for it. And, I guess you would say the expense of it all. And because we still love the fans, because it's like every time, I'll give you a perfect example. I had a young man to come in yesterday, and his name was John. He's no more than 12 years old, and he's crying because he sees, I think it was the Triumph tour book. And it's like his whole focus was on the Triumph era. And I'm like, wow, I was that kid. I was John. So it's like for us to be able to share our collection with people like John and others. Like I had a grown man, I'm not going to say his name, but he came in, he said, I moved from Egypt to America because of Michael Jackson.
Wow.
And he came with his son and he was sitting there crying. And it's like, I'm like, wow, tears of joy because Michael has touched us all. I know you because of Michael Jackson. Yeah. I met my wife because of Michael Jackson and the Jacksons. Like I feel like this is my personal opinion. We owe so much to that family for the sacrifices they made. The least we could do is give back because I just watch the people's faces, the fans that come in, and they're just touched. And that's the ultimate reward. Like my wife said, it's not about the money. It's about putting a product together on the level of the Jacksons that people can enjoy.
I love that.
That's my personal feeling.
That's such a beautiful sentiment because, like you said, you know, a lot of people love Michael and he means so much to him. The whole family means so much to so many people, but they don't really get a chance to see the history.
Right.
And that's what I love about your exhibit is that you guys are taking people from the beginning to the end, showing, you know, so much of the history, so many of the accomplishments, the achievements. I saw earlier today, Vernay, you had showed magazines from the Jackson 5 era that I had never seen. And I was just like, wow, you know, like it's just what I would give to be able to flip through that or just look at it. It means a lot. So that's really cool. What I wanted to ask too now, because that was an amazing story that you told, Ryan. Are there any like really popular items that people are just like really loving or is it kind of like everybody's kind of different in what they're enjoying seeing at the exhibit now?
Well, you know what? I noticed that everyone is really in awe of the Michael Jackson 1 sound system because that's what we use to play the music from through Pandora. And it's like when I tell them that music they're hearing, that clarity, that crisp sound is coming from those two pictures, and Michael Jackson created that. It's like they all have to catch their breath. They all have to pause for a second because we just look at Michael Jackson as an artist, not the genius that he was, not the creator. That sound system is remarkable. I mean, I always tell people it beat Bose hands down, and Michael Jackson was one of the greatest of MJ1 sound system.
You know what? I'm like, now I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, do I know about that? I never knew about this sound system. So hopefully you guys will do this again someday when I'm in the East Coast so I can go see for myself.
You gotta come to the MJJ5 Exhibit.
Right? Now I'm like, oh, come on. Wait a second. I don't know about the sound system. I got to go do some Googling when I get home.
You've seen it. I think you've seen it at our house, though. It looks like two portraits on the wall. And for the pool party, we would always have it playing the music on the inside because the portraits are hanging on the wall. So you've probably seen it, but probably just thought it was posters and probably just walked by. So I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you.
Please do.
I will, for sure.
And everybody, okay, if you're listening to this, if you go to the exhibit, of course, mention MJ Fangirl so you can get your cheaper admission. But also make sure that you let them know that you want to see this sounds MJ1 sound system, okay,
Right.
for MJ Fangirl.
And second,
sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
no, I say it's second to none. I mean, it's really just that alone is worth a $10 admission because that was Michael's genius. He was so into the sound being perfect that here's a man who made a sound system that almost is perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. Michael Jackson's creativity was endless.
Wow. Now, speaking of this, I want to talk to you both because I know that you've both met some members of the Jackson family throughout the years, and I want to show some pictures. Here's a photo of the Jacksons. There we go. Photo of Vernay. And I love this picture. Oh, Vernay and Ryan. Oh, Ryan's there too. Okay.
Of course I'm there.
I didn't realize when I first saw the picture, I thought, okay, here's the picture because I have another picture that I'm going to show.
Well, hold on. Stop with that picture for 1 second.
Okay, talk to
The
us.
storyline behind Tito filling up on my wife like that is because we'll make it too quick. He said he was always so in the moment of being a star and signing memorabilia. He never had a chance to collect any of his own. So I had told him I would bring him some because he said he didn't have it. And when I bought him the box, and right before he took that picture, I gave him the box of memorabilia. And he looked at it, and I was like, what? And he was saying, like, this is it? And I would say, yeah, I got to save special stuff because I would like to open a museum for y'all. And he said, who, for Michael? I said, no, for all y'all. And he said, for us, you're going to open a museum for us? I said, yes, for all of y'all. He gave me the box of memorabilia back. And then he hugged on my wife and was like, y'all don't open a museum for us. And that was at that moment he took that picture, right, babe?
Yes. And that's my mom sandwiched between Marlon and Jackie because she's in love with Marlon.
Oh, that's your mom. Hi, Mom.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that story. That is beautiful. You know what? And you're so right, though, because I do feel like through the years, because of Michael's superstardom and what he was able to accomplish as a solo artist, for a lot of people, it kind of overshadowed what the Jackson 5 and the Jackson family achieved. And they did so much, performing for the Queen and selling out shows in Japan and being all over the world and just being one of the first faces of African-American family on cartoons and being on cereal boxes, which I'm sure you have. I'm guessing that you have some of that stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I always tell my wife, I said, listen, if I was Tito, it wouldn't be no Michael Jackson superstar. Because as mean as Mr. Jackson is, I wouldn't have never touched that guitar. So I give a lot of kudos to Tito, because if it wasn't for Tito, it wouldn't have been no Jackson 5. So, I mean, like you said, and that's my only regret, is that I wasn't able to pick the phone up and call them and say, Tito, I got it done. It's in Atlantic City. Come check it out.
Yeah.
So, it's like, it's almost like you never could give them their flowers while they're still living, and we owe so much to them. They brought us so much joy and happiness. I'm telling you, as a child, I was the youngest of 6. Nobody wanted to be around me. My best friends and siblings were the Jackson 5. So, I just love them, man. I really do. Oh,
I love that. And I have another picture that I want to share. This is with you and the Jacksons. Jermaine is in this picture.
Right.
Which is awesome, because I miss Jermaine. He's not performing right now with the brothers, which is like, come back, Jermaine. But I love this picture as well. And I wish that, hey, Marlon and Jackie, I think I heard they're being honored sometime this year in Gary.
Yeah, in Gary.
So, maybe there's an opportunity to show them at least.
Right. It's August 28th and 29th in Gary. And I heard from what I read, I think Chris Tucker's going to be there on the 28th, and Denise Williams is going to be there on the 29th.
Oh, wow.
So
that's okay. So that's going to be a big event. So everybody listening, check out the MJJ5 exhibit and then hop on over to Gary, Indiana and go check out that. Seriously, they should go check that event out, because I've never been to Gary. But
it's cool.
Yeah. I did also want to bring up, let's see, I think one more picture that I wanted to bring up, because you all attended Thriller Night, which was Prince Jackson's Heal LA event fundraiser gala. And you got a chance to meet Prince in Paris. I'm not sure if you met BG, but what was the experience like? Did you, Vernay, did you guys get to tell the children about your collection?
So we've had a chance to talk to Prince about it several times. We showed him some pictures both times that we went to Thriller Night. And then now every time we see him, because we saw him when MJ the Musical opened, every time we see him, we always say hi. And he always goes, "You're the ones with the collection." So that's how he knows us, as the ones with the collection.
I love that.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting, because as Ryan was saying earlier, like the Jacksons themselves maybe didn't have time to collect their own memorabilia. And, I would imagine if Prince or Paris were to visit your exhibit, they would come back learning a lot, because there are things that us fans that actually collect have never seen in your collection. And so I would like to know now about some of your favorite items that are on display. Just to tease to some of the people, like, what are some of the really cool things, Vernay, that you guys have in store for when they come and visit?
Well, one of the things that I like, just because I'm a magazine girl, is that we have the magazines chronological. So there's 2 tables of the 70s, 2 tables of the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and then like all the special ones that came out after his passing. And when people start with the 70s table, some of those, like you said, you had never seen the ones I posted for my collector's item of the day today on our social media. It's the same thing. People are like, I didn't know they exist. Or it's the opposite. Oh my God, I remember this. Oh my God, I remember these Jets. I remember these Ebonies. We used to subscribe to this. We used to be subscribed to Right On Magazine. So it's such like a memory lane, just going through the magazines. And I'm also a big doll person. So our dolls, our figurines, those are my favorite things in the exhibit.
Yes, and
your turn, Ryan.
Yes, sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, my turn. Well, of course, Tito's guitar that's in the exhibit. That's what I do, man. I'll give him a minute. Tito's guitar, and also the dolls that was made by Miss Judy Bill, the going back to Indiana, because as a kid singing that whole album, not knowing it was a movie or a cartoon, I never knew. I mean, it's unbelievable because social media we didn't have social media. We didn't have access to those type of things, like going to the store and buying Jackson 5, going back to Indiana or singing, so that kind of stuff means a lot to me because as a kid, I always thought my mother could just go into a store and buy Jackson 5 dolls. And now, as an adult, to be able to get them as an adult now, it means a lot. It brings everything full circle for me.
Yes.
So
and I want to add one more thing.
The guitar and the dolls. Go ahead.
One more thing, MJ Fangirl. One more important thing. We do have 2 out of the 6 flags that used to hang above the train station at Neverland. So those are really special to me because Neverland is like my favorite place on earth. So, I mean, they really mean a lot. They really have a lot of sentimental value because I just have really good memories visiting there. And the 2 times I got to go in and spend the day there. And so when I look at those flags, that's kind of like, just a reminder how amazing and beautiful that place was.
Oh my gosh, I just got the chills. So another fun fact, I've never been to Neverland, but I know a lot of fans go to the gates and all that. Can you just tell us a little bit about Neverland? Like, what was it like? Was it as magical as people say?
It was heaven. The first time that I went, I think I cried half of the time I was there because I just couldn't believe I was there. But it's something that you would see. All I can say is in heaven. It's just flowers everywhere. There's beautiful ponds. There's animals. There's rides. And the staff was so accommodating. I know most fans know that Michael has that movie theater on the premises, and he has a real life, candy, I guess you call it a candy stand where you like in movies, if you go. And if you say, can I have something? The guy was just like, just go behind the glass and get it. Everything was at your fingertips. You can ride anything. I mean, it was just an amazing place. Now, his personal living quarters, we didn't get a tour. The 2 times I went, we didn't get a tour of the personal living quarters, but we had full range of the entire ranch. You didn't have to stay with the group. You could just walk off and have a moment and ride the train. And one of the guys, I can't remember who it was, but he was dancing on the stage, the same stage where Michael sat when he's talking to Oprah in the interview. And I remember us crazy girls, sit in every single seat in the movie theater just so we can say we sat in Michael's seat because we didn't know which one it was. But we went through that whole theater and sat in every seat just so we can say we sat where Michael sat.
Hey, MJ Fangirl. Yeah. And she got a bag of rocks too. So I would say, these rocks came from Neverland.
Really? Okay. I just did steal some rocks. But you can't buy anything there. So I had to take something. So I took, some people took like the Neverland sticker that was on the toilet paper. We took weird stuff.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Wait, there was a sticker on the toilet paper? Like the details, I'm loving them.
So like if you're going to start a new role, there's a sticker there. And so one of my friends, shout out to Sunny, she took the sticker from the toilet paper.
That is hilarious. Oh my gosh.
But I still have my Neverland rocks.
Okay.
But like we laugh at my wife. I laugh at her for stealing those rocks from Neverland, but it was like they meant so much to us that it was almost like they wasn't real, like they lived on the moon somewhere. Yeah. So like when I went to Havenhurst and was actually be able to walk in to where they lived, it was like, okay, I'm done. I did it. Because you actually felt like, you are a part of these people that you love so much now. You understand what I'm trying to say to you?
Yes.
It's surreal because I felt like he lived on the moon. Like as a kid, I was like, wonder what Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 doing right now. Well, they was in that house in bed asleep.
Right.
So,
yeah, they were like otherworldly. Like even, and I've never really gotten a chance to meet the Jacksons. I have met Jermaine and I have met LaToya, but I've never met, I've been wanting to go to see the Jacksons in concert so I can at least meet Jackie and Marlon. Never got a chance to meet Michael, but I totally agree with you. It's almost like like they're otherworldly. Like you just like, you know that they're real, but you can't fathom that they're real because they're so much a part of your everyday life. But yet they seem so far away and untouchable.
Right.
And that's why I love the Havenhurst events because like you said, like I remember specifically like the Jackson's American Dream movie. And that's where I saw Havenhurst the most because I grew up basically in the 90s. So I didn't really see Havenhurst or anything like that on TV because by that time he was in Neverland. But seeing the Havenhurst compound on the Jackson's American Dream movie and then seeing it in real life at Havenhurst being there was just like mind-blowing.
Surreal.
Very.
And you know what? The funny thing about it, like one morning, and my wife can verify this, I got a text before my children, and it was saying Happy Father's Day. You know who it was? It was Tito. He texted me Happy Father's Day. And I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, man,
he did.
This guy texted me Happy Father's Day. And you know, it's just, man, I just love him so much. Man, I just tell you, it's like, what wouldn't you do for that family?
Yeah, I know. And, you know, it's so interesting because I feel like through the collection that you guys have procured and that you're putting on display for the world now to be able to go see, it's such a important contribution to the legacy because there is no Jackson's Museum really. They do have the Gary, Indiana Hard Rock Cafe display.
Yeah, I went there, and that's not always open, which I was upset about because I feel as though if the fans come there to be close to the Jacksons, it shouldn't be a limitation on it. It's like the other day I worked, you know, I drive the bus, I cut hair. I mean, I'm multifaceted when it comes to making revenue for my family. I was exhausted, and the fans knocked on the door because I had closed the museum door. And they said, can we come in? I said, absolutely. I would never want to deny someone the ability to relive their moments with the Jacksons.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want that done to me. So, but anyway, when I went there and I told them who I was, and they found out I was who I said I was, they opened it up to me.
Wow. So I can't believe that I didn't know that it wasn't open all the time. Now I'm like, okay, I got to make sure whenever I make my trip to Gary that I can actually go see. Vernay, have you been?
I have not. I've been to Gary. I've been to the house, but I haven't been to Hard Rock.
Got it. Okay. So that's going to be on both of our to-do lists at some point.
Yes.
Y'all better hurry up and do
it. Okay. So now I wanted to ask you this, and we kind of touched on it earlier, but like, why do you think it's important to showcase these items, not only from the solo career, but for the whole career? Like, why do you think it's important? Like, do you feel like people are taking something away from that maybe they didn't know before? Or Vernay, what would you say?
So me coming in as a Michael fanatic, since I've been married to my husband, I mean, he really has opened up a whole world for me because when you're quote unquote a Michael Jackson fanatic, the way that I wasn't so focused on a Jackson 5. And now I have favorite songs by the Jackson 5, favorite songs by the Jacksons, where I was just kind of Thriller and on, maybe Off the Wall and on. And, you know, just having that exposure. And I think it's the same thing when people walk in here, if they were kind of like me and they're just a Michael person, they can actually see the full history. If you love him, you want the full history. And the full history starts with his brothers. And I think it's also fantastic when they come in here that they see that it's also African Americans that are preserving this legacy. Because a lot of times we're not the ones doing it. Yes. You know, we might go to an African American history museum, but we don't necessarily own it. You know, right. So I think it's kind of like it's just historical, all of it all together. You know, it's African Americans that are trying to preserve this legacy. And we're trying to take you like from the very beginning so that you understand how his success came to be, because it may have been different. It may have been different if the Jackson 5 wasn't a part of it. Who knows what Michael's legacy would be, you know? So, I mean, it's all complete. And it took me to get married to see that, you know, because I Michael, you know, And my husband would be like, give the brothers some love. Leave some space on the wall. Give me some space for the brothers, and I'll be like, fine. Yeah, but I get it. Walking around here and just seeing like how his life just started, and it's just amazing. And I think people appreciate that when they walk in because they only expect to see Michael.
Right.
So.
And you know what, MJ Fangirl, I think that's what makes our collection so unique. Not taking anything away from Michael. We know Michael is a superstar. Michael is Michael is the premier entertainer that the world has ever known. That you can't take anything away from Michael. But also his brothers were the platform that launched that superstar.
Yeah.
And like we have to remember that is that before they became this magnanimous group, they were riding in a van sharing hot dogs and french fries, and they worked together to become the world's greatest group. And that has to be preserved. That story has to remain intact and has to be told. We know Michael Jackson is, like I said, he is the man. But the brothers deserve that credit too because they put that work in, they hone their skills just as well. And like I said, when they're coming out the gate, the Jackson 5 was like they knocked the Beatles out the #1 spot.
Yeah.
Like that's big. That's big. And I don't ever want no one to forget that. So people say, "Oh, well, your collection for sale?" Never, because this ain't about money. And I will say this, and maybe I shouldn't. We're not going to recoup the money I put out. And my wife will tell you, I sacrificed because I said I'm not going to bring a subpar product with the Jackson's name on it. I would never do that because I know how much perfection means to them. So if you're going to do anything in the Jackson's name, don't half step. Do it all the way to the fullest. And that was me and my wife's attitude. Whether we made some money or no money, we didn't care. It was about bringing the best product to the fans that we could possibly bring.
That is amazing. And I love all of what you both said. And, some of the motivation behind this exhibit is really inspiring. I can't imagine where else anyone could see such a true and whole collection of Michael Jackson memorabilia other than your exhibit. Like, we've talked about other museums, and even if you go to like the Grammy Museum or wherever else, sometimes you go to these Hila events and they have maybe a Thriller jacket, but like there's nothing that tells the whole picture of their success than seeing magazines and posters and tour jackets and stuff like that. It's just really impactful. And I love that. I just love it. I'm really, really excited that we're having this conversation today. And Vernay, is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you wanted to mention about the exhibit? Because I know we've talked a lot, but is there anything else that we missed?
I want to just talk about where we're located for just a minute and why the Showboat is kind of a big deal for us. So our location is inside the Showboat Hotel on their main floor. If you come in from the Boardwalk, we're literally like right around the corner. Like you can't miss us. And
Like
when we were negotiating to come here, one of the things that Grant, who's the person who got us in, kept honing on is that Showboat is for families. They completely removed their casino. This is one of the few hotels on the Boardwalk that has no casino. They have one of the largest arcades in the world. They have the indoor water park, the go-karts, the skating ring, the mini golf. It's so much for kids to do. And he said, the reason why we want you here is because Michael Jackson is for families. He said, this is a family-oriented hotel. You can bring your dogs and cats here, for crying out loud.
Tell them, boo.
So they just kept pushing, Michael Jackson is perfect for everything else that's here.
Yeah.
And when we got here, my husband was like, I feel like we're surrounded by all of Michael's favorite things, the arcade, the water rides, like all the things that Michael loved and all the things that kids love. It's really like a perfect marriage of us being inside the Showboat. Yeah. So I just wanted to give them shout outs and just thank them for giving us the opportunity to be here for the summer, because not many people were calling us back when we were trying to do this. Basically, nobody called us back. And they didn't just call us back, they called us back with enthusiasm, and they were already ready to go. And when can you start moving stuff in? And, our families would love this. And even since we've been here on June 15th, they come by all the time. They remind us how much they love having us here. If our kids are here, do you guys need arcade cards so they can play, so they're not bored? I mean, they take such good care of us. They love having Michael in this building. And there is 5 or 6 huge TVs that they play sports on out here. I mean, like humongous, like movie theater type screens. And 4 of those permanently have MJJ5 Exhibit on it. It never changes.
Wow.
And then as you walk down the hall, we flash on their TV screen. We're on their website now under entertainment. Like, they have really been pushing this and really been supportive. So I just wanted to give them their kudos too, because, they understand. Children love Michael Jackson. They understand the positive legacy that Michael has, and they were all for it. They gave us no problems. Here's the key. Do what you need to do. And when they come in here and see how we transformed this place, it was a dark, dingy room that wasn't being used anymore. And now it's this bright, beautiful exhibit, and they can't believe it's the same place,
Right.
So I just wanted to thank them for giving us the opportunity, and for understanding what Michael stood for.
Oh, I love that. I love that you mentioned that, it's for families. I feel like every kid has a point where they're like, oh my gosh, Michael Jackson is so cool.
Exactly.
Have you had a lot of kids that are visiting and are blown away?
Do it. Too many to count.
The crazy thing is that the kids that come in here that are the most excited were not even alive when Michael passed away.
Wow.
Like, these are kids that were like just born like 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And they can do the moves. They can quote things. They can tell us facts. It's unbelievable.
Let me say something before I forget this point. I had a girl who came in, and her family, they wasn't big Michael Jackson fans, but she was. And she knew everything about Michael Jackson. And then she just looked at me and she said, man, Michael Jackson have a spiritual connection. And I said, you do? She said, yes. She said, because he died June 25th. I was born June 25th. And let me tell you something. When I say chills just went through all through my body, because this little girl wasn't even alive when Michael passed. Yeah. She was about, what, 7, babe? I think she was. And it's like, her, and then she looking at stuff, like, she looked at a store display. I will say this. I have a Got to Be There store display. I think Got to Be There was released in, 72, 71. So I was born in 71. And she said, oh, look at that. That's like a double mic. I said, yes, it's a store display. And I said, that thing's older than me. And she looked at me and she just started laughing. But the bottom line is, it's like they're being exposed to Michael's greatness in his young age that they don't know anything about. Because the only thing they see mostly is him in his thriller era and his superstardom. They don't realize how he was a superstar even when he was their age.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the lesson they get when they leave the exhibit.
And that's so impactful. Like, I'll say, talk for myself, growing up for me, I was also into solo Michael Jackson, but it was like the Jackson 5 era when he was like 13, 14, when I started listening to the solo album music that he had with Got to Be There, Music and Me, Ben, all that.
Right.
That's when I started to really feel connected to him, because I was listening to him at the same age. And I was just he really spoke to my heart when I was listening to him singing at that age. So that's just so powerful. I got the chills now.
You know what else? It shows how dynamic he was to transcend those child era and singing. When his voice started changing, he never stopped. It just went from him being a child, him being a young adolescent, and to him becoming an adult. And you got all that all in one. Because those times, I'm quite sure those times were tough for Michael. Because as his voice started changing, he was still putting out records. So it's like, not only is it a museum of how great Michael is, it's also an education. We get to see all the transformations that their family went through, from being Jackson 5 to their, battle with Motown, becoming the Jacksons. until Michael becoming a superstar solo artist. So it's like it's an education. We just love Michael, but a lot of us don't know what all of the transformations they've been through, surviving in the business as long as they have.
Absolutely. Now, I just want to ask this question because I know you guys are, so this exhibit is open until the end of August, correct, Vernay?
Yes, August 31st.
August 31st. Okay. So people should go and check this out now, but in the future, do you guys have hopes and dreams of, permanently showcasing your exhibit, or like, what's the plan? Because I would love to go and see it, and I can't make it this summer, but
I think that that's probably going to have to be in the works, because now that we've seen the potential, and like I said, it's still probably 30-40% of stuff at home. We just don't have. Every day I come in here, I try to hang up one more thing. I'm just determined to squeeze in one more
stuff
thing.
In that. We got stuff in the attic, stuff in the shed.
Yeah, and so I mean, to be able to stretch out. Yeah, I think that we would love to have a space permanently where we can just stretch out and really tell the full story and not have to decide what comes and what stays home.
Yeah. Your collection is so amazing. Cool. Like, even now I'm thinking back to when I got to see a part of it, and you guys had stuff on the ceiling, just like it was everywhere.
You thought that was creativity? No, that was called running out of space.
Yeah. We try to utilize every corner of that room. So.
Oh, man. Well, my dream is to one day, like, display my collection in some type of way in my home. And I think that you both are such an inspiration to me as a fan, and just as someone who now this year, I'm calling this my historian era, because this year I'm really focusing on learning more about the history and digging into the facts and speaking to fans who have a wealth of knowledge about the history. And that's why I'm so honored to have you both on the show today, because it really is so impactful and so important that you're preserving Michael's legacy, the Jackson's family legacy, and that you're sharing it with the world. So thank you.
Thank you.
I want to give people...
we want to thank you for what you've been doing, because you've been doing the same thing on video. You've been telling the stories of Michael. You've been telling the story about the brothers and a lot of stuff that people didn't know. So you're doing your job too. For years. You're bringing a lot of information to the public that they did not know. You're telling the story from our view, which is great. And we want to thank you too.
Thank you. Yes. That means a lot. That really means a lot. Like I said, I want to let people know out there, they need to go and check your exhibit out. Let me bring the information back up here. The MJJ5 exhibit is at the Showboat Hotel in Atlantic City. They're open every day except Mondays from 11 to 7 p.m. And if you mention MJ Fangirl, you will get some money off your admission. And who doesn't love good savings? Go and check out all those amazing items and let me know. Tag me if you guys go. Take a selfie with Vernay or Ryan and be like, hey, MJ Fangirl. Like, just let them know MJ Fangirl sent you. And again, Ryan, Vernay, thank you so much for being on the show. And just on a personal note, I can't wait to see you both again soon in person, because it's been hard. I love the West Coast, but then I miss you guys. I don't get to see you at events.
You too.
Yes.
Miss you too.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can all meet up someday, and best of luck with the exhibit. Everybody, make sure that you are visiting them. And where can they find you online? I know you both have TikTok and Instagram for the exhibit. Is that correct?
Yes. So our TikTok is MJJ5 Exhibit 2025. Our Instagram is MJJ5 Exhibit. And then if you actually go to the Showboat Hotel website and click under entertainment, you'll find us there as well.
Perfect. Well, I wish you all the luck for the rest of the summer. And like I said, thank you again.
Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate you.
So that was Ryan and Vernay O'Neal. They have one of the biggest collections in the world, and you can go and see it this summer. Make sure that you guys go. Check out the MJJ5 exhibit. Let me know down in the comments, what are you most excited about? Are you going to be in Atlantic City? Are you from the tri-state area? Like, make a trip, you guys. It's totally worth it. I promise you won't be disappointed. Make sure that you're also following me, MJ Fangirl, on Patreon. That's where you can support the show. It's only $4.99 a month. And guess what? You get access to ad-free early drops of all these episodes, as well as some candid videos that you might not see on YouTube. So I hope to see you guys very soon, either on Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Now we're also on Facebook. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. All right. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.